Welcome back to the Becoming Project. And today is a very special episode. I'm here with a very special friend of ours, Steve Phillips, and we are talking about his newest book called Being Shadows. And he will definitely get into what that means, because when you first read that, you're like, what does that mean? So I'm going to let Steve introduce himself. He's a dear friend of our family. He has been our pastor for quite some time, and his heart is literally gold. And the things that he writes in this book about a period in his life is an exact representation of just who he is and what his heart is. And it is an extremely good book, and we will definitely link this book on Amazon, because you can get it on Amazon. We'll put that in the description below so you can grab yourself a copy. It's a quick read. I know for me, I'm a slow reader, and I got through it fairly quickly because it literally, I just wanted to keep finding out what was happening next. So Steve, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, you know what? I thank you for calling this my newest book, because it's my onlyest book. It's the only one I've written, and it was a project a few years in the making. It's all about my life up until I was about 7 years old.
Okay.
And the title, Being Shadows, is derived from the fact that I grew up in a poor town, a poor area of Marion, Ohio. And there's a big, giant soybean factory over there. So the soybean factory was always very ominous. And I equated to the things I was going through as these shadows that were trying to get me. Now, it sounds dark, but there's humor in this book. And you'll see as I wrote this book, brother, the way I like to read, which is short chapters. I'll see a book on a shelf and I'll think, man, that looks like a good book. I'll open it up and say, okay, the chapter's still going. Nope, I will never read it because I don't like to take a bunch of time. I don't know, I've been so time conscious in my life, but this book, I wrote short chapters and it'll pull you right on through. I think the reviews have been very good so far.
Yep.
Very good. People are enjoying reading it. They're telling me that there's humor in it, and so I'm just happy that I got it. Had some friends help me to get the logistics of it, because I'm about, how many times have I called you and asked you for my password?
Oh, I can't remember.
Because I keep forgetting it. And I'll say, Brother Matt, I need my password again.
Yeah,
He said, look under your computer.
I'll scroll back through my text, because I know I sent it to you 6 months ago.
Yeah. So I'm not very technical. I'm about as technical as a rock. But I had help, and through prayer, God allowed me to get this book published. And I'm very, I think proud is a strong word, but I'm proud that I stuck with it to get it done, because I think you'll find it entertaining. There's parts of it that you'll be in tears. There's parts of it you'll be laughing, and there's parts of it you're going, I can't believe he said that. So it's an entertaining book, and I'm very thankful for it. So Being Shadows, it's available on Amazon. We'll put the link in, like you said.
Yep. Well, thank you for that. I think the first question that I have is, what brought about, this takes place when you were a young child. What all of a sudden prompted you to choose that section of your life?
Well, it really sprang out of I found some notes that I wrote maybe 20 years ago about my grandpa. You read the book. I loved my grandpa. He was just like bigger than life to me. I loved to watch him light his pipe with striking a match on his boot and all that stuff. It just amazed me. He fascinated me. So I wrote this thing about the house where they grew up, which in the book I call the leaning house, And so, and I think I ran across that, and I thought, you know what? I need to expand on that. I need to talk about the things that I went through as a child, and all the I call it the drunkenness, the abuse, the poverty that was all in that area. So that's why I started writing it. And I would write a little bit, and then I would set it aside, and then I would write a little bit more. And then about, I'd say 6-8 months ago, I had an urgency to finish it. And I wanted to finish it so, when I'm gone, my children will have something to read and all that. So that's really how it sprang from those little notes that I took about, going over there on Thanksgiving and the thing about where Grandpa killed all shot all the, are you allowed to say killed on this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Some of these people, they're going, everything.
Flag, red flag.
Red flag, we can't do this. So, but it was all about those type of things, about going over there at Thanksgiving, and we didn't have any meat, and Grandpa went out and shot a bunch of pheasants or whatever they were. I don't know if they were quail, pheasants. They weren't turkeys.
Yeah.
That's all I know. And so that it sprang out of that because that was so much a part of my life, and I wanted to tell stories about it. I love people's stories. I love the stories of people's lives and what they've gone through, because everybody you'll meet, they're interesting. They don't even know it.
Yeah.
But they need to tell the story. So that's how it sprang out of that.
I feel like, and I think in our age of everything being digital, it's convenient. So we can get information quickly. We can send messages quickly. We can save messages easily.
Yeah.
But I think most men get to a time in their life when they think about what they're leaving behind.
Right.
And so, some may be notes and letters and other things like that. But I think, especially in this age of everything being digital, yes, it's easy, but if somebody passes away, who's going to be somebody that's going to go dig through their computer looking for stuff?
Right.
That's why I still think, even though having a physical book is still a good way to pass on the stories and the things that you want to leave behind.
I like holding a book when I read, rather than reading on a screen. Now I do a lot of reading on the screens, but I like holding a book. It's the way I grew up, and I chose this size. I could have chose different sizes, but I felt like this felt good in my hands and all that. But yes, you're right. I mean, it's so easy. This is why. I mean, I grew up later in my adult life. I sold advertising for a living before I went into ministry, and it was a big investment for people to put words on a page, and so they had to make sure that it was right. They had to make sure it was something that was going to be worth reading. To whereas today, you got people sitting in their pajamas in their basement typing just any old thing, and there's no investment. And you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I feel like a book has a more of a permanency in the world, in the real world, and all that. So I'm just very happy that God gave me the courage and the wisdom to do it. And I think some of it's pretty funny. So
this is very funny. There were times where I just laughed completely out loud, especially at the word idiot.
Idiot. Everybody was an idiot back then. Hey, you idiot, get over here. What's wrong with you idiot?
Because at first I thought it was your nickname in there, and then you had in there other people calling it other people that, and I said, okay, so this must just be a generic term. So those were always had me laughing.
Now later on, this didn't happen until I was probably my teenager. People went from being idiots to maggots.
See, I never heard of that one.
You maggot, get over here. Yeah, that was another one. That was another derogatory term that we used to build each other's self-esteem.
Yeah, of course.
That's what we were trying to do. So
what you do as a young teen. So you said 6 or 8 months ago, I'm going to press in on this a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
You had an urgency.
Yeah.
Help me understand what was that urgency that caused you to this final push? I
wanted to get it done. To be honest, I mean, I'm 73 years old now. I'm in okay health, but I can't see I don't know when the end is going to come for me. Don't want to think about it. But I thought let me sideboard. My brain goes like this. If you diagram it, that's what it is. They say you know where the richest place in the world is?
I have no clue.
The graveyard. Because there are more people buried with their dreams inside them that they never got to express.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to be that way. I wanted this to be out. I wanted to be something at least that my kids would read. And they would say, okay, well, I didn't know Dad went. I don't know that I've ever talked to the one chapter, The Long Ride Home. Okay, I don't know that I've ever told my kids about that. I don't know. They may be totally surprised.
Yeah.
I told other people about it, but I don't think I ever told my kids about it. So that's just another chapter in the book that you'll want to read, because I really, that chapter, and I won't talk about what it is, but that chapter I almost left out.
Yeah.
Because I thought this is going to spoil this whole thing. But I thought, no, this is part of my life.
Yeah.
This is what happened to me. And so I need to talk about it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I remember getting to that point, and it sneaks, at least for me, it snuck up on me.
Yeah.
And it was like, jaw hit the floor.
Right.
And
so that
I'm glad you left it in there.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are going to, I think this is going to help a lot of people to, whatever they need to do to process it and things that have happened to them in their lives. I think that will hopefully inspire people to do that.
So I think the urgency was maybe maybe not to be dramatic, but maybe I was like facing my own mortality and saying, I want to get this done before, I look outside and the Grim Reaper's in my driveway. I want to make sure that I can get this done. So I started, my best friend in the world, his name is Paul. He lives in Florida, and he challenged me one day. It was about a year ago. He challenged me. He said, you need to get up an hour early every day and do something on your book. Do something on your book. Do something on your book. Now, I wasn't pristine about that, but I heard his words, and I was working on this at least parts of a day, 5 days a week during that time. So it was good.
Okay. One question I had about in the book, I think a lot, especially most younger, I would say maybe Gen X would be my generation, Gen Z and below, I think this would be foreign to them.
Yeah.
Now, folks in Gen X and older would relate to this more, but just explain. I love the fact that you had like your group of friends in the neighborhood that you just kind of ran around with, rode bikes, rode to the quarry, went and, you guys kind of had your spots, just tell me a little bit of what is that like, having just a neighborhood group of kids that you just ran around with during the evenings, and especially when school's not in during the summers.
Oh my, you're hitting a sensitive spot, brother, because I wouldn't trade it for anything. We had that group of kids. Some of the characters in my book are in different cities now, and some of them have reached out to me. I had one guy, he was Keithy. You remember seeing Keithy? Keithy was like, seemed like he was more mature than the rest of the kids. And he was like a leader, kind of pseudo leader and all that stuff. But I get a message after I got the book done and everything I promoted at one time. I get a messenger from him, says, hey, Stevie, this is Keithy. He says, I just bought your book, just finished it, and I loved it and all this stuff. But back then, we did have that core group of kids. We played kick the can and hide and seek and flashlight tag. Now, the only thing is that most of the time, none of us had a flashlight, so we had to kind of fake it. But anyway, we played all those games, and you didn't worry about as many things back then. And so we had a good group. And we had our scuffs. I remember one time getting in an argument with one of my friends. It was one of the characters in the book, over a stick, because it was a good stick. I wanted to know where he got that stick.
Yeah.
And he said, well, don't worry about it. I said, that looks like a stick that was in my yard. And we argued over that. We didn't come to fisticuffs, I don't think, because he was bigger than me. But anyway, I said, but we got this argument over a stick, but it was all good. Just like, you remember the story about the one kid that was making fun of my outhouse and the odor, and I was going to punch him, and I wanted to punch him. And then somebody says, hey, let's don't talk about Stevie's stinking outhouse.
Yeah.
And the frivolity, it just broke the thing. But man, it was so good. We had that group guide. Most all of us had bicycles. My bicycle was broke down a lot. And
didn't have a seat.
It didn't have a seat.
Forever,
it only had one
for a
pedal.
long time. One pedal.
One pedal. And it was a miracle how God got that fixed for me. But we were just a close-knit group. We all played Little League baseball. We all, of course, I didn't get into Little League by this time. There's a lot more. I had one person already asking me if I'm going to do a sequel to it.
Yeah. And
there was a lot of stories I left out. But I think, I really believe people will enjoy reading this. I'm trying to get the word out. As little as I promoted, the sales have been good, the reviews have been good. So I'm very happy about that.
Yeah.
Very thankful. But it was a different era. But you know what? I think a lot of our play was outside.
Yeah.
We didn't have, there was not, you have a TV in your bedroom. Nobody had that.
Yeah.
You was lucky if you had one TV that worked in the house, black and white TV. And so, but it was just a group of kids that we hung tight together. We played those games, kick the can, hide and seek. We used to play one called Fox and Geese. I don't know if I went into that in the book, but Fox and Geese you played in the winter, and you would get a nice field that would fresh snow on it. You'd make a circle. You'd get in line, and people would make a circle with their feet. They'd make a big hoop, and then they would have spokes that goes into the center. The center was the base.
Okay.
So one person was the fox, and the rest of us were the geese. So we would play that. We would play. It was just so much fun.
And you could only run on the path.
Only run in the path.
Whether it's outside or across the spokes.
But if you got into the center, you were safe.
Okay.
Because nobody wanted to be it.
Yeah.
It. You're it. Oh, guess what? You're it. What does it mean? I never knew what it meant. I just didn't like it, though.
Yep.
It had a negative connotation.
Yeah.
So, but no, it was a different time. It was a different time, and we all did things. We ran ramps. We'd get some wood, and we'd have our bicycles. We'd run up ramps, and I remember. Well, that was later on in the book. That was later on after the book. But I injured myself quite severely on one of my ramps one time. I didn't have enough speed up. But so many memories, brother.
Yeah.
And I've got friends in Dayton, one particular family, and they know who I'm talking about if they see this, but they were all just such wonderful, wonderful kids. And this girl was one of the girls on that front porch.
Okay.
About the cigar.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite parts of this book.
Yeah.
Okay, I told my own family, I was like, I'm gonna let you guys figure it out, but this story was, I just couldn't get over it. You were 7 years old.
7 years old, yeah.
That's like one of my children who's 7. I couldn't even imagine doing something like that. That is crazy.
Well, 7 years old.
Tell us a little bit about the story. What are you talking about?
What the story we're talking about?
Or a snippet or something.
Well, this one story that I'm talking about, I had run across. I was just minding my own business. I was going down Decatur Street there, and these two girls were standing on the porch, and one of them, don't say a 7-year-old does not recognize the opposite sex, because that would not be true. Because this one girl, I just had a crush on her like crazy, and they were like, Stevie, come up here, let's see what we got. Well, when I got up there, I won't tell you the whole story, but they had a cigar, and I thought, wow. Now, I had stolen my dad's cigarettes before and smoked those a little bit, but not a cigar. And I thought, I was just infatuated with that cigar. And so they made this big elaborate plan of how I was going to go steal my dad's cigarettes, come back. And I said, well, how will we make the exchange? And the one girl says, You see that tennis shoe out there in the yard? Yeah, I see it. Okay, you go home. We're going to put the cigar in the tennis shoe. And then you go home and steal your dad's cigarettes. Come back, and then you pull out the cigar and put the cigarettes in there, and you can have the cigar. And I'm going, oh my goodness, these girls are much smarter than me to figure out something like that. So it's just a story about that, those things, and the things that happened afterwards that I'll let you read in the book, because it was hilarious, but it was a time when, that you just wondered if you were going to live.
Yeah.
And it was just a wonderful, wonderful time. And like I said, I cut it off when I was in 7th grade. It was long before I became a Christian. I got saved when I was 12 years old.
Okay.
And so, I mean, there was not anything bad in the book, but it wasn't a Christian book per se, where I was talking about, the only Christian things was when I started praying, because I thought I was going to fall off of that oil tank, if you remember that part.
One of the things I been thinking of asking you about, you talked about your grandfather.
Yeah.
And I love how you weave the relationships with your family in this book. And one of the ones that I want to kind of press in on is your relationship with your father.
My father.
You talk about the good and you talk about the ugly.
Mm-hmm.
But I just can't help but see that you still love your father.
Absolutely love my dad.
So give us a high level of what that, whether you want to scope it to this book or broader to your life, how, what is that relationship with your father like? Because we do see the good and we do see some challenges.
I'm glad you could see that, because I was concerned about that, that I would paint my dad as this dastardly, abusive man, and that wasn't the case at all. Every once in a while, when he had too much alcohol, those things would happen. The belt would come off, etc. And but my dad was, when he wasn't drinking, he was the funniest. He was funny. He was the best cook I've ever known. Best cook. He made the best chili. He made the best everything that I ever had. My mom wasn't the best cook. She did okay.
Yeah.
But my dad was a great, great cook, and what he taught me was hard work. He was a hard worker. And I told the story about how he created that house, made the garage, and all that stuff. But Dad was a hard worker, and I dearly loved my dad. I hope it didn't come across that I didn't. There was times I was in fear. I was. But I think I was connecting that to the alcohol.
Yeah.
That was I think one of the lines that I put in there was, all the drunkenness and the this, that, and the other came out of a brown bottle of Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. It all came out of that.
Yeah.
And so, but I loved my dad. He was great. He's a hard worker. He taught us boys, all of us boys, to work hard.
Yeah.
And the girls. Oh, and vote. You better vote. You better vote. Yeah. He was death on that. I remember my little brother. He was talking about one time, because he was older and he was out of the house by that time, and he had a little cottage he had, and on one day he says he was sleeping in his bedroom. He hears a knock on his window. Hey, fella, you need to get out and vote today.
That's your dad?
My dad was knocking on his window.
On him.
Wanted to make sure. He said, "Boy, that's something you don't want to ever not do, is vote." So. Yeah, I loved my dad. He was a great man, and
I think younger people, maybe everybody, but younger people, I think, need to see that, because I think now this is just Matt Snyder's opinion. I think we look at some of the challenges we see with family members in our lives, and I think especially the younger generations, we're so quick to something. If we have a disagreement or a conflict, it's cut off.
Right.
You're out of my life. Right. I see that.
That's a lot of that happening today.
Much when you see, and I'm not saying the stuff that happened that you talked about in your book that your dad did was okay, or I'm not endorsing.
I left a lot of it out, believe me.
But I think we need to see that, because we need to see, especially the people closest to us, they are flawed.
They're
and
flawed.
they have
Just like I am.
things that are we may not like, but then they have a lot of things that we do like.
Yeah.
And I think especially younger generations need to see that.
Yeah.
I'm not giving any endorsement to anything that's happened to somebody in their life, but I think that part of the book came out, to me at least, is that there were things that stood out to you that were painful, but you still, I know, I can tell that you still love your dad.
I do.
And you have a high amount of respect for him. And I think that is something that younger folks need to see, because we're not going to have if you've got 20 family members, you're not going to get 19 of them that you just get along with and you just love to be around. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
But you have to look and see, why God put you in that family and how that works, how that mess works to, bring about everything that comes in our life.
Yes, absolutely.
So I really appreciated that because that came through to me. And trust me, usually when I'm reading a book or I'm watching a movie, I'm the last one to get it. Like if it's like a murder mystery, some other people, I know who it was. It was so-and-so in the ballroom.
And they use the candlestick. Yeah.
It's like me, I'm just like, I don't get it. But that came through to me.
Yeah.
So if it came through to me,
that's good.
It can come through to a lot of people. So
that was one of the things I was concerned about, that people would get too much of a dark image of that. But I love my dad.
Okay.
I mean, the thing that I would do, the popping open the beer for him and all that stuff, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
That was my childhood.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of it I wish hadn't happened, but a lot of it did, and here we are.
Yeah. So to wrap this up, I got one last question.
Okay.
You talk about, you alluded a little bit at the beginning about the shadows, the bean factory shadows, and how it casts like an ominous shadow over some of those things that happened in your life in this book. What do you, there's somebody watching right now that they may not have bean shadows, but they've got shadows from other things that are happening in their life. It could be anything with their family, with their employer, with anything that's casting a shadow that they feel like they just can't get away from.
Yeah. What
would you say to those people to encourage them, as it's not something that they can't, you couldn't move the bean factory shadows. No. You couldn't pick those buildings up and move them.
Right.
So what would you say to somebody who's watching who feel like they can't get out of those shadows? What are some encouragements that you would have?
Well, a lot of it is in retrospect, obviously, because I look at the things that I was going through, and I had like I said, I didn't get saved till I was 12. I did not become a Christian. If some of you are watching, and that's just a term us church people use, means Jesus saved us from our sins. And that didn't happen to me till I was 12 years old. My grandma invited me to church to have a pizza party. That's the only reason I went. But I'm looking back before that, there were things that I know God saved me from, and he protected me from. And that's what I would say. Even when you're in that dark, he's not forsaking you. He's there by your side, even right now, even when you're going through those things. He is there with you. And so I didn't know it at the time, but I knew, looking back, God was protecting me from those things. He was protecting me from a lot of stuff. So I would say, if you have shadows in your life, first of all, if you don't know Jesus as your Savior, I would highly recommend that you check that out.
Amen.
And you say, it's as simple. Preachers, I'm a preacher, but preachers complicate it. It's nothing more than believing what Jesus said about you, taking and putting trust in what Jesus Christ did for you on the cross. And I wish I'd have done it long before, because I tell in my testimony, at 12 years old, people say, man alive, what could you have been into at 12? Believe me, a lot. and I'm not proud of it, but one of the things I say is I was doing every sin I knew how to do.
Mm-hmm.
Some I didn't know how to do yet.
Yeah.
But I probably would have done them. But not proud of that. But what I'm saying is God is with you, even in those shadows. He's with you. So just know that. Just know that God is protecting you, even though you may not have started a relationship with Him yet. God is still watching over you.
Amen.
So,
Amen. Thank you
amen.
for that. I appreciate that. I know somebody will that will benefit somebody.
Yeah.
So thank you.
You're
Steve,
welcome. I love
for
you.
sitting with us. I love you too.
Yeah.
How can we get the
Don't
book?
don't pass up this opportunity to get your copy of Being Shadows. We're going to leave a link to this on Amazon in the description below this video.
It's pretty simple. Just go to Amazon.com.
Yep.
And type in Bean Shadows.
Mhm.
It'll take you right to it.
Being
You can
Shadows by.
Bean Shadows by Stephen Phillips. I go by, that's my proper name. This name right here.
Oh, it's not Idjit.
Yeah, well, it's Idjit. Yeah, it's Idjit. It was Idjit to all my buddies. But Stephen Phillips caused me great amount of nervousness because my sister taught me my name was Stevie.
Okay.
Taught me how to write it. So I'm writing my name Steve. The teacher says, "Who knows how to write your name?" So I'm raising my hand, and there's only like 3 other. I'm going, man, alive! Don't these guys have sisters? What's wrong with them? So I go up on the chalkboard to write. I'm going Stevie. I was making the last little thing on the last little E, and my teacher grabbed my chalk out of my hand and said, "That's not your name. This is your name." And she wrote Stephen. I looked at her and I said, "That's what my sister said my name was." And so anyway, that's those type of things. But Stephen Phillips, Being Shadows by Stephen Phillips. I think you'll enjoy it. If you get it and read it and like it, even if you don't like it, leave a review.
Yep.
Because I've had very good reviews so far. But I've enjoyed this, brother.
Thank you. Appreciate your
Yeah.
time, Steve.
Well, there it goes. Where do I look, brother?
Right at this group of circles.
Okay. All right.
Ellipses.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not recording.
Yeah, it is. What do you? Now you blow. Yeah.
It says 0.
Hmm?
It says 0. It's not like, you know how it kind of.
Yeah, that's the hours.
Oh.
Did I ever tell you guys I do counseling?
Who might need that?
It was all fun and games until they broke out the camera.
Welcome back to the Becoming Project.
Wait, hold on a second. Wait. I want to do live.
Take 47.
Yes.
You're going to do a live at the same time?
Yeah.
Oh, this could be fun.
It's going to be fun. I'm telling
All
you.
right, I'm ready. So you do the editing? You
Do
do
it.
editing?
Yeah, and he'll do a bloopers portion.
All right. That'll probably take up most of it.
He has been our pastor for quite some
Keep
time.
rocking. Keep going.
Would that be considered a blooper?
You might have to just set that and walk away.
Okay, go ahead.
I love it. Go ahead, brother. Keep all that in, by the way. Funny. People will like that.
I do need to stop rocking.
Yeah, you do.
Wasn't good for me to be put in a rocking chair because I'm just going to want to.
Yeah.
Okay.